Stephanie Milky here, aka Keto Mom, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the Keto Mom podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the Keto Mom Secrets podcast. Hello, welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie, and we're going to dive into the conversation on how to get started, what should I eat. I need some basic steps to either get started, restarted, get past the plateau, help me. And on the back side of that question, I get asked often, how long do I have to do this? Like, how long is this going to take me? How long do I have to? So let me know this real quick. As you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? And here's what I'm going to do. I am a visual learner. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 7 steps that I feel like are super important, and you can choose the steps that you want to choose. And my hope is to help you. It's going to start out feeling like a diet. And then as you keep going, a diet turns into a lifestyle if you don't quit, right? So oftentimes I have people say, how long do I do this? And I say, well, what do you want? Do you want to lose weight to get to the wedding or the vacation, or do you truly want transformation? There's a difference, right? There's a difference in the way that you look at food and the way that kind of how strict you go versus learning as you go. Are you going for like a look of vacation, wedding, or some type of event, or do you truly want transformation that lasts over time? And so here's what we're going to do. I'm a homeschool mom of 4 girls that are teenagers, and I love them, and I love this season. And I'm a homeschool mom. So I made some visuals for you because this is how I need to, like, if somebody's teaching me something, this isn't a huge visual, but it's enough for me to remind me of what I want to say to you. And then also I want you to realize that if you write down these 7 steps, and guess what? I have somebody helping me make a 30-day tracker. So I have a friend, her name is Liz, and she's making a 30-day, like a PDF that you can print off. And what it's going to do is it's going to have these 7 steps on it. And the 7 steps are going to be for you to every single day. Make a check mark. Make a check mark. How many of you need a tracker, or you like to do the check boxes like yes, or cross off the lines like you feel accomplished, right? We're going to do that together. So if you want that, be watching. As soon as it's available, which will be in the next couple days, I will give it to you so that you can do the 7 steps and the consistency of doing those 7 steps over time. We go through books on this page every single day. The first step I'm going to tell you is I truly feel like it's the most important step. And what I want you to understand is in all of the books that we read and the mindset that we work on the Keto Mom page, you're going to hear over and over again from experts to keto doctors to other people in this field. They're going to say, listen, I do have 4 dogs as well, so please forgive me. But they're going to say this. It's the small steps that you do day in and day out that don't seem like a lot, but when you do those small steps day in and day out, in 1 year, you will see a significant difference. And if you're here because there's a wedding around the corner or a vacation around the corner and you just want to look a certain way for, in 2, 3, 4 weeks, that's great. But if you want transformation, you're going to have to stick with this little check sheet that's going to help you keep going long term. Make sense? So I've got 7 steps for you. As you're tuning in, also at any point in time, you can always go to KetoMomSecrets.com. You can click on book club. There's a foods list of how to get started. There are recipes. There are trial packs for ketones. There is lots of different things. Go to KetoMomSecrets.com. All one word. All right, are you ready? We're going to dive into these 7 steps. Here's what I would love to ask you. I would love for you to press the share button. Sharing is caring. If you have a friend or a sister or a mom or somebody you want to invite to the page, tag their name below. Sharing is caring. And I want other people to have a community, support, guidance, help as they're going on this journey. So, are you ready? Homeschool mom, I'm ready. Number 1. So we're making the little check boxes, and I promise you these 7 steps, when done long-term, will help you make better decisions and you're going to feel better. So I 110%, 1000% believe that if you work on your mindset, especially in the morning, and you get up in the morning with a I get to, not a I have to attitude, and you have gratitude, and you can just, if you can get up in the morning, here's what I will tell you. One of the best books to read, if you tell yourself, I'm not a morning person, if you're one of those people that, you're yelling at the kids on the way out the door, if you're one of those people that you're like, oh my goodness, I am always running behind, I'm griping at somebody, I'm late, this is for you. I want you to go get the book, The Morning Miracle by Hal Elrod. There's lots of different versions, just grab one. The Morning Miracle, so that you can learn how to make an incredible morning for yourself within 1 hour or 6 minutes. It's 1 hour or 6 minutes. And mindset, what this is I want you to get up in the morning, and whether it's 1 minute, whether it's 1 page, whether it's 10 pages, whether it's a podcast while you're in the shower, doing your makeup, making breakfast, I want you to stop scrolling. I want you to find somebody that inspires you. I want you to turn off the news, and I want you to listen or read something that is going to make you a better person. That's something that's going to make you go, oh my goodness, I can do today. Yes, I believe in myself. Does that make sense? So number 1, it seems simple, and yet it's something super simple to skip. Mindset is so important. I say this phrase often. If you're brand new to the page, welcome. And I say this in my morning lives, and in the morning, the lives are all about mindset. And we say, as I think, so I feel, as I feel, so I do, as I do, so I have. Your journey starts up here. The things that you're thinking about, the words you're speaking over yourself, the things that you're believing that you can or you can't. If you can, you're right. If you say you can't, you're right. So as I think, so I feel creates an emotion. As I feel, so I do creates an action. As I do, the action, so I have. So number 1, if we're working on fat loss and your keto journey, and please ignore my dogs, and they're just wild right now, unacceptable. Mindset, number 1. Okay. Listen, I'm not even going to tell you about my dogs. They're great. I'm speaking it into existence. All right, number 2. We dive into the first question. If you message me and you're like, Stephanie, please help me, I'm going to say, awesome, what are you reading? What are you putting into your mind? Honestly, it's one of the first things I'll ask you. Number 2, I'm going to say, what's in your cup? What's in your shaker bottle? Because I'm going to walk you through how to make a transformation, if that's what you want. So number 2, as you're making your own notes, note to yourself, what am I drinking? You should be drinking half your body weight in ounces of water. And what else are you drinking? Is your cup full of sugary drinks? Is your cup full of a ridiculous amount of caffeine? I don't know what it is, but first of all, we're going to look at what you're drinking, and I would challenge you to do the same. Half your body weight in ounces of water, and what else are you drinking? And let's see if we need to eliminate some of those things, all right? Number 3. Oh my goodness, you guys, I apologize. Please forgive me. I feel like I actually have to walk out there and tell my dogs to stop. So hold on a second. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. Hold on. I'll be right back. Excuse me. Get down right now. Lulu, stop. Get down. Get down right now. All right. We'll see if they listen. You guys, how rude was that? I apologize. There's nobody else in my house, so I had to take care of these wild dogs. Did you hear me say, excuse me? All right, number 3. This is how I started my journey. You don't have to, but I'm going to tell you this is how I started 8 years ago. So I talk about what you're drinking. I'm going to mention drinking ketones. So before we dive into food, I will say, hey, do you know what drinking ketones is? You can't hear them. Lori, they're so loud. They're like wildly loud. But we also have some people fishing at our house. So we live on a 40-acre lake. It's an old rock quarry, and there's tons of people we allow fishing, and they're fishing, so they're just getting wild. So thanks, Lori. All right, why ketones? I started drinking ketones 8 years ago. Here's what I want you to know. You found this page because you were probably searching keto. You found this page because somebody said, hey, go do keto, right? And I'm going to tell you this page is going to be a little bit different than others. I'm going to focus more on your mindset. I'm going to focus on a lot of different things, not just giving you keto recipes. Although I know that's what most people want. That is not what I feel like most people need, but I'll give you recipes. KetoMomSecrets.com, click on recipes, or scroll through the page for 8 years. Now, there is a difference between keto and low carb. We'll talk about that in the food section, which is next. But I started this journey with drinking ketones. So here's the deal. You can do the keto diet. You have to track all of your food. Hopefully your body will make ketones. And if it does, they're a long sustained energy. You feel great. So ketones turn on your brain. They turn down your appetite. They give you energy. They help you feel amazing. They help you with your mood, all of the things. They're a tool. And 8 years ago, I was introduced to a product that I could drink ketones and feel the same way, but not do the diet. So I am low carb, higher protein, and we'll get to that. But if you want to know more about drinking ketones, and I'll touch more about this at the end, just post ketones below, because I have different ways you can trial them. We've got some super cool challenges. Like, you're going to get in where you fit in, whether you grab 5, 10, or any type of bundle that we have. I want to walk you through it, and I want you to understand the science behind it. This is where I started. I didn't start with the diet. My husband did. I started with drinking ketones. And when I started with them, I was a mom. I have 4 girls. They weren't teenagers. They were babies back then, right? We just entered the teenage years. Back then, I had a 2, 4, 6, 8. And I needed a nap every single day. And for me, that was huge. So when I drank the packet of ketones, I didn't have to take a nap ever. It helped me just have a better mood, turned on my brain, turned down my appetite, and little Debbie no longer was my best friend. If you get it, you get it. So here's what I'll let you know. If you've never tried ketones, post trial in the comments and we'll chat. But that is my number 3, is ketones. And I actually, if you're going to post ketones below, I'm actually going to give you some research from the scientists and doctors so you can understand how they work. So that is my number 3 of 7 steps on how to get you started if you're going to message me and you want a transformation. All right? Are you ready? Here's what everybody wants to know. Everybody wants number 4. They want me to dive right into number 4. It's all about food. They want to know keto versus low carb and how to eat. I know. This is like, Stephanie, skip the mindset. I don't drink water. I don't understand ketones. Tell me what to eat. Okay, I'll tell you what to eat. I'm going to be a little bit different than somebody's doing keto. If I'm coaching you on this transformation and I'm talking to you and you're listening to me, I'm going to say, do you want to track your food, everything that you're eating? Do you want to do keto or low carb? Keto is tracking all of your food. You're going to do 80% fat, under 5% carbs a day, and you've got to be really strict. And if you do it for a period of time, could be days or weeks, your body will make ketones, hopefully. Not everybody's does. If you want to do more low carb is like buns off the burgers, croutons off the salad. If you've never received my foods list, it's a basic foods list of how to get started. Post food in the comments. But we are going to start with breakfast options. I'll give you some lunch options and some dinner options. You're basically getting rid of the sugar, the pasta, the rice, and the potatoes. Think about, I'm going to eat proteins, veggies, and salads. I'm going to eat when I'm hungry and not when I'm bored. Food is fuel, and oftentimes we think of food as a reward. I was just talking to a sweet lady yesterday, and she's like, I really need to lose some weight. And I said, hey, can I give you some suggestions? And I'm going to talk about this here in just a minute on one of my other numbers. But she basically said she eats a lot of different type of foods because she doesn't know what to eat. So we talked about proteins, veggies, salads, buns off the burgers, croutons off the salad, like just being mindful of what you're eating and how often you're snacking. So if you want to be keto, you got it. You better download a tracker. MyFitnessPal, Carb Counter, track all of the food. And listen, I did that years ago so I could visibly see what I was eating to have an understanding of how much I was eating. And then I was introduced to intermittent fasting a couple years ago and hands down changed everything. So I will give you a foods list of how to get started if you post food below. Hey, and if you're just tuning in, We're going through 7 steps to help you on your journey of transformation. And I'm being teacher, homeschool mom. That's me. So I'm using some fun little flashcards. Plus it makes it more fun, doesn't it? All right, next up, we have number 5. Before we dive into something that I think hands down will change your life forever, number 5 is move. So after we talked about your mindset and what you're drinking and the power of ketones and the food that you're eating, we're going to talk about moving your body. And all this means is this. If you don't have to go into the gym for hours and hours, you might go, but Stephanie, all I can physically do is walk. That's perfect. If you can work on getting about 7,500 steps in a day, 7,500 to 10,000 steps, and you might go, oh my goodness, I don't even get 3,000. Then let's work to 4,000. Or Steph, I get about 5,000. Let's work to 6,000 or 7,000. We're going to gradually work up to it. Moving your body is just that. Go for a walk. If you physically can, do some type of weight training 2 to 3 times a week. Why? Because as you get older, what do we start losing? Our muscle. I'm 40. One of the biggest things I need to make sure that I maintain and I keep is my muscle. It's going to help me as I age, and then it's just going to help me with longevity in general. You're going to start hearing a lot of science and a lot of research and just in general people talking about intermittent fasting and the power of muscle preservation, which, by the way, is one of the main reasons I drink ketones, because ketones preserve your muscle. And so there's lots of reasons, but that's one of them. So here's what I want you to know. If you go to a gym, awesome. If you need accountability to go to a gym, go get a gym membership. If you need to go, just go for a walk. Go for an extra walk around the block. Grab your friend, move your body. If you physically are able to do it, it's super important and it's going to help you on your journey. Okay, number 6. This is super powerful. I truly believe that number 6 has changed so many people's lives in the last couple of years as more research has came out or more people are talking about it, and it's intermittent fasting. Think about it like this. When you wake up, when do you first eat? Probably breakfast. Some of you are like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. The lady I was talking to the other day said, I eat right when I get up. I'm hungry. And I said, I get it. I'm just asking. And then she goes, but I also eat late at night because I'm watching TV. And so I like to snack when I'm sitting down. And I said, I get it. It's all right. We're going to work on it. Here's how I explain this. Intermittent fasting, think about it, even if you don't like the word fasting, think about it as like time restricted eating. I promise you, there's a cup. I mean, I think all of these are important. I think mindset is number 1. I think that drinking your water is super important. You're just going to feel better. I hands down think ketones are an incredible tool and everybody should be drinking them. I'll give you some basic food ideas. I think they all should be tied for number 1. But intermittent fasting is this. Think about you stop eating after dinner. The kitchen is closed. It might be 6, 7, 8 o'clock. When you're done, you shut the kitchen lights out. And then if you sit down and enjoy a movie, just tell yourself, I don't actually need a snack because I'm not hungry, right? So intermittent fasting is going from the time you're done with dinner till the next day, 16 hours. You might not start there. But a really incredible intermittent fasting time is you've got 16 hours from the time dinner is done until the next day, approximately lunch. And in that time frame, you're going to drink your water. You can have black coffee or tea. Ketones don't break your fast, so I drink these in the morning. And they give me the energy and they give me the appetite control. Here's why it's so important to intermittent fast. Because it gives you, you're going to have a time frame. You're going to have a time frame to eat, to where think about most people eat from the time they wake up until the time they go to bed. Did you know that most people reach their caloric intake, how many calories their body actually needs to function by 6:30? And then by 9 o'clock, they eat an extra at least 15% of calories. So that means as we are overeating, and I hands down believe that people are not losing weight and they're gaining weight and they don't feel good and they've reached a plateau because they're simply overeating and overeating good food. If there is one thing, let's start talking about like when do you start your eating in the morning and when are you done, and we'll slowly, hours at a time, decrease it. So you've got about an 8-hour window. Listen, it's not to deprive you. Your body needs to rest like you need to rest. You need 7, 8 hours of sleep. If you're eating until you go to bed and then you eat from the time you wake up, your body gets 0 rest. And what happens to all of the food that it can't digest? It gets stored. So we'll talk about this more, but I promise you This is a super, super, super powerful just habit that you can put into your life, and it can change everything. All right, so the last one I have, because I like the number 7, so I needed something else, is I wrote down celebrate and accountability. Mainly, here's what I will say about celebrate. If we go back to number 1, which is mindset, and we talk about how it's consistent actions every single day for a transformation, not for the wedding and not for the vacation. But if you're willing to do these steps, small steps day in and day out. Listen, if you eat a donut today, you don't gain the 10 pounds tomorrow. If you don't eat the donut today, excuse me, you don't lose the 10 pounds tomorrow, right? So we have this Insta, and we have to get the Insta out of our mind and go, we didn't get here overnight with the weight that we have or how we want to feel. We're not going to get there overnight, but we can over time. And if you're committed to a transformation, then every single day, which I have a tracker coming for you, as soon as I have it, I will share it I'll just post it right on the page. So be watching, okay? And I have all of these steps that are going to be in a tracker that you can print out, put it on your refrigerator, and give yourself some little gold stars, right? You know those little stars when you were little? If you had a great day at school, you got a gold star, or a red, or a green, or a blue, or yellow, gold. So I want you to every single day celebrate. Like, yes, I drank my water today, because we have these big goals and they seem so far in front of us. And if we don't lose the 30, 60, 70 pounds, if we don't run that marathon, if we don't get to that end goal, what do we feel like? A failure. But if you can look at this, and accountability is important, I'd love for you can tune into the Keto Mom page, find a friend or a neighbor or a coworker and say, hey, I'm going to check in with you at the end of the day and tell you what I did. You don't have to respond. It's holding me accountable. And I'm also going to celebrate myself. And I'm going to say, you know what, Steph? Good job for drinking your water. Good job for moving your body. Good job for reading. I feel like I've got an incredible mindset. And as you do this day in and day out, remember, you're not going to see the results in a couple weeks. But if you do this consistently over time, you will have an incredible transformation over, let's say, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and a year. You'll start seeing your body change and your mindset change, right? So I want you to celebrate every single day, because this will keep you going. You need to celebrate yourself as you do these little things. It's super important. And so here's a couple sayings I'm going to leave with you. Remember, at any point in time, you can go to ketomomsecrets.com, ketomomsecrets.com, click on recipes, click on book club, click on trial packs. You can grab some ketones. Here's some of my favorite sayings. Don't mess up good for perfect. So if you get to work and you forgot your lunch and you're so hungry, go to the gas station and do the best that you can, or go through a drive-through and take the bun off the burger, right? Like, we're not going for perfection, because that means most people won't get started. We're going for doing the best that you physically can. Another one I like to say is, well, you don't need to force feed yourself, but I usually say it like this. Don't eat if you're not hungry. You do not need to eat every 2 hours. You don't need to eat to try to boost up your metabolism. There's different fasts that we also do on the Keto Mom page that I can help you with to help reboot your system, but you don't have to force feed yourself. If you're hungry, eat. But if you're hungry, not if you're emotional, not out of habit, not if you're bored, like, not because the clock says to eat, because you're hungry. All right. I think I have 2 more. Are you ready? I like to say the only way you fail is if you quit. The only way you fail is if you quit. So if you're listening and you're like, Steph, I've restarted and I have started and I have started again and again. Listen, the only way you fail is if you quit. So if you get back up and you keep going, I promise you you're going to feel amazing. And you will get there eventually. And I want you to keep going. So these are the 7 steps I have for you. I have a great tracker that I will leave in the comments. I'll put in the header of this video. I will also send it to you when I have it. And knowing that I'm here to help you. So you can tune into the page for recipes. You can send me a private message. You can reach out. You can ask questions below. You can post ketones in the comments or trials if you want to try the ketones. This is incredible. I call it my mom fuel. It's not just for moms, but it's a powder. You put it in water, you drink it, you're going to feel amazing. Some of you are drinking pots of coffee or energy drinks or I don't know what, crazy sugary drinks. This is incredible. It tastes great. I've never felt better. I've been drinking it for 8 years and I'd love to help you on your journey. So whether I help you with your food or understanding how to get started, helping you with your meals, helping you understand intermittent fasting. Those 7 steps will help you on your journey to better, I promise you. So thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you more about your journey, and I'll talk to you very soon. Have a wonderful night. Bye.